All right, welcome guys. As you remember from last night, tonight we're going to talk about our week. I really feel like we've got to get better at putting our week together before the week starts and not waiting until the last minute. You guys were not productive over the weekend with your launch events, and I think part of that is planning and strategy. If you know going into the week that you have to find some people to do launch events for the weekend so you can be busy on the weekend, then it's got to start earlier. A lot of you were like, well, I just couldn't find somebody who wanted to do a launch event. So if you know this coming weekend, you're going to be doing launch events, then your focus over the next few days needs to be signing people up so you have new people to do launch events this weekend. And so you can't wait until the weekend to try to find somebody to do one. You've got to go into the weekend with your entire week lined up and have events today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. And if you're doing events or activities or getting people on Zooms every day, you're going to have plenty of people to do their launch events this weekend. So, looking at your week from Sunday, which is what I told you to do last night, and putting your schedule together for the entire week now means that you're going to have intention and focus on getting people recruited between now and the weekend so that you will have people to do launch events with this weekend. Because all of you guys towards the end of last week didn't have any new sales. You couldn't get the old people to engage. And so you guys didn't have the launch events. And so now we're going to start from scratch. We're going to start over at zero and we're going to sign people up between now and Friday that you can do launch events with this weekend. So I need to see everybody's schedule, what you're doing every day leading up until Sunday, which is what I told you to do last night. So please go ahead and type that into the chat box, what your schedule is for the week, so we can start talking about that and look at your schedules for the week to make sure you've got enough activity, enough contacts, what you're doing with your board of director list, your top 10 list, your hit list, so you can make sure you have new sales in by Friday that you can do launch events with this weekend. So that is the goal for this week is getting results from our weekly schedule of activity so that you can go into the weekend and have people to do launch events with this weekend. That's super, super important. Okay. So if you guys can go ahead and start typing that into the chat box so we can start going through it. I want to look at y'all's schedules and see what your week looks like. So just put, like we said last night, Sunday this, Monday this, Tuesday this, Wednesday this, Thursday this, Friday this. And then, of course, leading to next weekend, this coming weekend, where you're going to be having launch events. I'm going to pause the recording really quick while y'all are typing. So here we go. Saith, we'll start with you. Happy hour tomorrow at Bourbon Barrel. You've got 5 confirmed. That's awesome. Meeting with the owner of a new restaurant on Wednesday to add a happy hour on Thursdays. Perfect. Thursday lunch meeting with Kelso. We're traveling to Michigan for the weekend. I'll be prospecting while visiting with family. Where in Michigan is your family, Saith?
Jackson.
Where is that at? Is that what close to what?
Jackson and Ypsilanti, which is next to Ann Arbor, and Jackson's kind of in the dead center, I guess.
Nice. Okay, cool. I'm going to be in Michigan this weekend too.
Where are you going?
I'm going to be in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
I'm going to be in Grand Rapids. So, if you know anybody in Grand Rapids, we just signed up a couple people there, and then also one of them moved from Grand Rapids to I think Flint, maybe. So I'm trying to get some more stuff going in Michigan. And I did a call today with a girl from Traverse City also.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's starting to be some movement up there. So if you've got friends and family up there, you definitely need to be busy this weekend because I mean that could be really good to plug into some of the stuff that's going to start to happen up there. So I've been
I
up there
will.
a couple times now. So yeah, some good people up there.
Awesome.
Okay, so
Yeah.
keep the loop if you want to put me on the phone with anybody this weekend while you're there. If you can show the video and then put me on the phone to I'll help you close, and we can talk about logistics. If we can get something going there, if you have contacts there, we can get a nucleus going. I'll come up there and do some meetings. I have no idea how far it is from these other places I'm going to, but it can't be too far.
I'm
So,
not sure. It's my wife's family, but
okay.
there's definitely people.
Okay, cool. All right, good stuff. So, let's see here. Daryl, you have a call in the morning at 10 a.m. To get him to lunch. Then you've got a dinner meeting tomorrow night also.
Yeah.
And then you're going to a networking event, Wind Down Wednesday.
Yeah, that's out of my comfort zone going to something like that, Wes.
That's
I don't
good.
go out, I don't drink. So
I want you to be out of
yeah,
your zone.
that's why I decided to go. I've been hearing you tell other people to go to different things.
Good.
So that would be totally out of my
Good.
character. Not out of my character, but that's just not what I do. But
All right.
I'm looking
Well,
forward
you don't
to it.
have to do it at Wind Down Wednesday. You can find a Toastmasters in Memphis.
No, the guy who hosting it, I'm trying to get him in the
Well,
business. So
good. Well, good.
that's
Also, you can find some other things that are, more professional, that are like more meeting oriented. I mean, you can
yeah,
sign him up too, but a lot of these groups, like the Chamber of Commerce and Toastmasters, those are really heavy business deals and they're great
yeah.
experience. It's good networking, a lot of reasons to do that stuff.
Hey, you say you're going to Grand Rapids? Isn't that near Flint?
I think it's like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
I feel like everything in Michigan is like an hour and a half from each other. I don't know. I don't know if that's really the case, but I just feel like I'm like, well, how far is that? Oh, hour and a half. How far is that? Like 2 hours. How far is that? Hour and a half. I feel like everything in Michigan is like an hour and a half from each other. I don't know if that's accurate. It just feels that way. I'm not from there. I've just been going up there. So Thursday we obviously have the big event in Memphis that I'm flying in for. Um, and then you've got a concert Friday, Saturday. You've already got a travel party booked.
Now that's gonna be at George's
How
house.
come? How come George is having travel parties on the weekend and you're not? How come you
George
haven't
can
had a
seat
travel
about
party?
40. He can seat about 40 people in his house for one.
So what? It doesn't matter. You,
Yeah,
you don't have 40 people on your team. Who cares if he can seat 40 people there? You need to be doing this too. It's a slam dunk. It's a layup. When you get to bring people to your house, you've
right.
had them at your house before. They know where you live. They've been there. It's a comfortable place. It's easier to get your friends to your house than it is to get them to George's house. They don't know George.
Yeah,
George is a stranger. We want to try to keep people doing things that they're comfortable with. Okay.
got you.
So you might think, oh, well, George's house is bigger. He can have more people there. Denson's going to be there, and that's great. But you need to have a travel party too. That's a good thing for all of you guys. In fact, that should be the thing this weekend, except for Safe because he's going to be gone. Y'all should have your own travel party at your own house. If you haven't
All
done one
right,
at your house, do one at your house. If you can't get somebody to do one on your team, do it
right.
do it at your house. Have your own. I mean, this is like, those are layups. It's easy to get people to your house that because they've been there before, they know where you live. It's not out of the ordinary. It's not weird. It would be weird if you just called a friend out of the blue and like, "Hey, go to my friend's house on Saturday." They're going to be like, "Why? I don't know your friend." Yeah, but he can hold more people than I can. What does that mean? What are you talking about? It's just weird. Like, it's much harder to get people to go to someone else's travel party than it is to go to yours. Everybody should be doing travel parties every weekend for the new people. And if you haven't done one at your house, y'all should all do one.
All right.
Okay, Marcus, Tuesday, you've got lunch. Wednesday, the mall. What's that? What does that mean?
I'm gonna go to the mall and go all out.
You're going to go prospect?
Yeah, prospecting.
Okay,
But like when I
what
say
about your list of names over the last 30 days that you've got from all the coins that you've been moving, all the names that you've gotten over the last month? What are you doing with those?
so I've been hitting them up. I've been like sorting them. Like I have the list and I'll like look at it and I'll hit somebody up or whatever's going on with that person. I'll kind of like just update it or cross this person off. This person didn't respond. This person did respond. Or I'll have this like date set up with whatever that whoever that person is.
Yep.
Um, But yeah, besides that, I mean,
So you haven't gotten anybody on your list over the last 3 weeks to a month that you've been doing that to come to a presentation? I mean, you're going to,
I got Brando and I got John to hear the information, but
but I mean, you
that's
should
the
have
only two.
like 50 or 60 names by now.
Yeah, so like
You're
I
moving
think
too slow. You got to speed it
yeah.
up. I mean, if you don't have anybody else to talk to, like you can't. I mean, because what good does it do to go to the mall and get 10 or 12 names if it's going to take you a month to get any of them to see something? You've got to speed it up. You've got to find reasons to talk to these people, communicate, find things that they're interested in. You're supposed to be following all of them on social media. You can go through their posts and pages and see what they're into. If they're into music, if they're into sports, you can talk to them about tickets. You can talk to them about their kids. Have they taken them to Disney? Did you know that you could hook them up on Disney tickets? Did you know you could hook them up for tickets to the Knicks? Did you know you could hook them up for tickets to the Eagles? I mean, bro, you got to dig in on these people and start maturing the relationship, start making the connections. You can't just go keep getting names. I mean, this is the stage of where you're at now. Like you've been doing this long enough. Now you've got to turn those names into prospects and get them in front of the information. I mean, you've sorted long enough. Like, just go to their page, find a reason to connect with them, find something that they're interested in, find a way to build value. If they are, I mean, what do they do for a living? What kind of business do they do? Can you get them some business for their company? Can you give them a reason to come hang around with you? How can you add value to their life? If they have a mobile car wash, can you get them some business for their mobile car wash? If they have a pet sitting service, can you get them some business for their pet sitting service? Like, find a way to build value for all these people. I don't know what you're doing. I don't understand what sorting means. Like, take the people, be like, Inspector Gadget, go be FBI, figure out what they're into, what they like, what they do for a living, where they work, what if they're into sports or music or entertainment. Like that, you should be doing that on every person. You've had 3 weeks to do it. I mean, it's not going to do you any good to go meet a dozen people at the mall on Wednesday if it's going to take you 2 months to talk to them. You see what I'm saying? Like now you're at the stage where you've been doing this. You should be getting name after name after name. You've been doing this for 3 weeks, and if you've been getting 5 a day, that's 75 names you should have. So you've got to take those names now and convert them into prospects. And the only way you can do that is to create a relationship. The best way to create a relationship is to build value. So how can you add value to their life? How can you add value to their household? How can you add value to their family? How can you, bring value to them as a person? What do they do for a living? Do you know? Go through and look at all their pages. And if you don't know, ask them, hey, where do you work? What do you do for a living? Get to know them. Figure out a way you can add value for them. They will come and hang out with you over drinks or over food if they feel like they're going to gain something. You can't make it about you. You're never going to get people to come if they think it's just what's good for you. You have to find a way to build value for the other person, or they're never going to show up if you don't have a relationship with them, because they only listen because they know you, like you, or trust you. And if they don't know you and they don't like you and they don't trust you yet, you've got to bribe them to get them there. You've got to find a reason to build value for that person to have an added incentive or reason. Either buy them food, buy them drinks, or bring value to their business or their life or their family, or they're not coming. And so you're moving too slow because you've been doing this for 3 weeks, 4 weeks now, and you should have dozens of names and numbers and contacts on social media, and you're going too slow. You've got to turn them into prospects faster. So that means you need to go play detective. You need to go figure out, form them, okay? Family, occupation, recreation, and money. What do they do to make money? What do they do for fun? What's their occupation? And then what are they into? What, they have kids? They have grandkids? Are they retired? What do they do? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So work on both of those things. I'm not saying don't continue to get names, but your names are too old. You've got to get through them faster. It's okay to build some relationships, take a little bit longer, but a month is plenty long enough. Okay.
Okay, wait, one question, because I feel like not to say I prejudge a person, but like unconsciously it'll take me a different
You know,
amount of time
I
for
get
like
it, but you don't have time
mhm.
to prejudge. When you have a big team and lots of people to work with, you can prejudge all you want. This is a race. So now you just have to go to whoever you can get to listen to you. Quit prejudging, quit trying to play God, just get people in front of the information, right? We've not exposed enough people. We've not signed enough people up. You've been doing the coins for 30 days. You should have 75 names. That's at least enough to expose one person a day. If you guys are not exposing one person a day, there's something wrong, right? At a bare minimum, one exposure, it needs to happen every day. I mean, this is how you take it up a notch, right? Before it was, I don't have anybody to expose. So for a month, most of you have been getting 5 contacts a day. So now now the next step is every day you need to expose somebody to Bright Life. Every day. Don't go to bed until you have an exposure. So that means that if you go home and it's 10 o'clock at night and you've not exposed anybody, you better get on your list, or you better go back out and you better go try to meet somebody and build value and get a stranger to listen to you. You have to rewire your brain. You guys have gotten the impression that it's just okay to go 2 weeks or 3 weeks without signing anybody up in this business, and it's just not. You're never going to make it if it takes you a month to sign somebody up. You've gotten all these names over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and none of them have converted. Hardly any of them have even seen the information. You've got to collapse time. You've got to speed things up. You don't have time to be picky. You don't have time to decide who's going to get to see the information. Y'all have been doing this now long enough. You're good enough. You know the information. You have access to third-party validation. You can use me if you need to, or somebody else on this call. And so you have all the tools that you need. You're just not using them. So just start exposing, right? We've got to be doing an exposure, minimum 1 exposure every single day. That's your new assignment. Every one of you should be making a minimum of 1 exposure personally every single day before you go to bed. This is the next step from getting 5 contacts, because a month ago, you didn't have any contacts. Now you've got 75 names on a list. So don't go to bed until one of those names on that 75 has been exposed. Okay, Marcus? Whatever it takes, whatever you have to do. And if people are not responding, or not responding to you, or not answering your questions, or not engaging, mark them off the list. Move on. So what? You got 75 names on there, bro. You got lots of people you can talk to. Okay? A month ago, you didn't have anybody to expose. Now you have too many to expose, and you're trying to decide who you're going to expose. You've got to expose at least 1 a day. So that's the new assignment every day for everyone. A minimum of 1 exposure a day. So tomorrow, I'm going to ask you tomorrow night, who did you expose today? And everybody ought to have an answer for me tomorrow. Okay? Because that's the next evolution of getting results, right? Because all of you have been doing some activity, but you're not getting results. So you can't just keep getting 5 coins moved from the right pocket to the left pocket and never signing anybody up, never exposing anybody, not ranking up. Like, this is an evolutionary process. You've got to get better at each step along the way and realize that the coins were only a means to an end, which is getting people in front of the information. All right? So let's go to Simba. Simba, you're going to Toastmasters every day this week?
I've been trying to, but Thursday is a little tricky. I went last week. Thursday was amazing in a different spot. Got me and Sammy almost got everybody's number in there. But they said they were gonna move because the company that helped them get that event spot, they're
Okay.
moving. So now I'm seeing.
But you've got Toastmasters Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, when are you going to be exposing people? Are you going to be getting people on the Zooms, or what?
Definitely, that is the goal. Now that you're saying that, I'm listening to what you said, Marcus. I'm applying to myself. I'm going to start exposing 1 person every day now. Even once I'm even in Toastmasters, as I'm trying to find. I know before it ends, I'm already strategically trying to plan. Hey, I got this going on and it's about to start in the next 10 minutes. Will you want to I'll buy you a drink? We want to watch this with me. But hasn't really like I haven't really tried that.
Mhm.
So now that you're like I'm listening and now that I wrote my list, so now once I do go to Toastmasters is yeah, I'm going to and I have time and it's before the 9 p.m. so I could just expose them right there with the live Zoom.
Okay. All right, just make sure that you're taking these contacts and you're turning them into prospects. All right. You guys can't just keep getting the names. Y'all have to be able to turn them into prospects. Okay. You guys have been doing the coins long enough. You're getting good at it now. I know. I have faith in you. So now we have to take it up a notch. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I strategically plan my week like that, so I can also have invite these certain people who's on my list for happy hour as much as I can to expose them. Then next day we got the where did I put? We got the I'm gonna have a tribal party for them once I do um sign them up so they can have something to invite to and then launch party. That's the goal.
Okay. All right. Sammy, I noticed your schedule is very similar to Simba. Looks like you guys are doing some stuff together. Sammy?
Yeah, Wes, you can hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, 100%. We're pretty much in alignment with most of the things like events, Toastmaster, etc. And we are using that to our advantage. And Steph, you brought the activity up, so my weekly schedule is based off of that because I do work during the daytime
Right.
most of the week. So my time is pretty much 5 to 9 as opposed to 9 to 5.
Okay. All right, Jessica, I see yours here as well. What about your weekly event this week?
We'll have to do that on the weekend. That's for Saturday.
So you're going to do your weekly live event on Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be easier instead of having a
When are you
full
going to
bus.
set that up?
I'm gonna set it up about 6:30.
Okay, no, I'm saying like, meaning when are you going to finalize this, like where it's going to be? And, have you talked to Ashley and Miranda and see if they can do it one night this week? I mean, they've got to decide at some point that they want to help you and get involved. I mean,
Exactly. I
so
agree.
why don't you just call them and say, hey, I'm going to do a live event this week. When can you do it? You're not busy 24/7. So y'all sign me up and y'all just basically are leaving me by myself. And so when are you going to do it with me? And just y'all come up with a time when the three of y'all can get together and do a live event. Okay.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right. So just talk to them about that and let me know what you're going to do. I see your other stuff on here and you've told me about some of the stuff. So, okay. And then Ronnie is supposed to be going out there in a couple weeks or like a week or something.
I think he's supposed to be out here the week after next. I think he said the
Okay.
week of the 19th because he's got to go back to New Mexico for the next 2 weeks. I think he's on his way out there today or something. I'll ask him. But other than that, yeah, he said he's going to come out and we're going to do an event.
And you've got on here, you know where the Toastmasters meeting is now, and you
Yes.
also are going to some other networking events as well.
Yes, I'm actually going to be attending a ribbon cutting tomorrow. The guy that actually does my tattoo has done my tattoo artist actually.
Okay.
His boss is the new business that they're doing a ribbon cutting for
Okay.
tomorrow. So I'm going over there to support them, and
Just
then
meet as many people as you can. Just try to mix and
well,
mingle.
yeah, the
Just
Chamber of
introduce yourself
Commerce
to everybody.
people will be there anyways for the ribbon cutting, so I'll get to meet some of them.
Perfect. Yeah,
And then
just
I went to
introduce
the
yourself
Toast.
to everybody.
Right. And I went to the Toastmasters one on Zoom tonight. It was great. I like it. It's something I want to keep doing.
Okay,
weekly.
good. All right. Okay, well, whenever you're on the next Toastmasters Zoom, you ought to suggest that y'all should get together in person and try to get people to get off their Zooms and meet you in person. And then if not, you ought to get everybody's social media pages and info so you can follow up with them offline. So
Okay.
a couple of different
Yeah,
ideas for converting those people into prospects.
yeah, because they do one on Thursdays at the Hospice of Texarkana. So I put that down there. I'm going to try to shoot over there. I don't know who if there's going to be anybody there, but I'm going to go see for
Well,
myself.
with that attitude, what are you expecting?
True.
Exactly. It's kind of
Hey,
like
I'm
I'm
up
gonna
for
invite
anything.
people, but you know how that goes. I'm like, no, I don't know how that goes. When I invite somebody, they all show up. So be positive. Okay. Don't why are you wasting your time if you're like, well, I'm just gonna go and see if anybody shows up? Like, why would you do that? Just be positive. All right, let's think positive. We're going to get sales. We're going to get recruits. We're going to get contacts. We're going to make exposures. We're going to sign people up, not the opposite. Okay. All right. I think that's it for tonight. We've already run a little long. So remember, tomorrow night, I'm going to be asking you who you expose tomorrow. So be ready. We may have a pop quiz on this. I may call some of your people and see what they think about how you exposed them. So you never know what's going to happen tomorrow night. So make sure you expose at least one person. If you guys need anything offline, just hit me up. If y'all need me for calls or closing tomorrow, I'll be available. Let me know. And I'll be in Memphis on Thursday night. So if you know anybody within 2 hours of Memphis, I would make sure that they get to Memphis on Thursday night. Daryl, can you make sure that you guys post the Memphis event in the Facebook group tonight? Post all the details. If they made a flyer, I think they made a flyer for it. Like it's like Memphis networking launch or something.
Yeah.
Post that in the Facebook group tonight before you go to bed, okay? So that everybody can see it. And so if y'all know anybody within 2 hours of Memphis, I'm telling you, there's going to be 200 people there on Thursday night. You should get them there. Beg, borrow, steal, bribe, whatever you have to do. Get them to Memphis on Thursday night to see me.
I did talk to Sammy today, and the guy, my friend that's in Long Island, is going to do a coffee meetup with him on Saturday.
Okay, sounds good. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great night.